the diseases that kill someone are closely related to like their genetic inheritance. Like people on average have about 6 major genetic defects in their coding, in their important genes. And so where those mutations are is what's going to predisposes you to what kind of disease you're going to die from eventually of old age. And we know that there are some people die of cancer, and that's sort of like a family trait. People in their family tend to die of cancer or heart disease.
So it's the same.
Alzheimer's.
It's the same with flies. There's any number of things that could cause the fly to eventually die. They don't all die from the same causes.
Right.
So the variations.
Interesting.
So the variations you're seeing in the O flies are probably variations that sort of make the O flies less susceptible to these various fly diseases of aging than the bee flies, and it could be a number of different networks.
Right, and since what we're doing is getting the distribution of the mutations for a population, it's like probably what's actually going on is some of those mutations are in some subpopulations of those flies that protect them from the fly equivalent of heart disease versus other subgroups that protect them from the fly equivalent of Alzheimer's, for instance. And then
right, but what's interesting is when you go to the super O's, though, there's a smaller number of mutations, which is a sort of focusing. So it suggests what Mike's saying is that it suggests there's a smaller number of different things that can happen in the fly's body to make it live a really long time. So there's a lot of different things that can happen to make it live a moderately long time by most likely preventing it from getting various age-associated fly diseases. But then to make it live a really long time, there's a smaller number of fixes to the genome that are effective, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly where I was going with that.
And did you say that these flies are living, I think it sounded like 5 times as long as
I mean, some of them are living much longer than that. That's an average over the cages, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
No, yeah. So I think that the super O's have the fertile period extended to 16 weeks. So that's like 8 times longer than
instead of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they live, and again, all 3 populations, once they reach their sort of peak fertility period, live for another 30 or so days. So we go from like 40-day average lifespan for the bee flies to about 140 average for the super O. So we're getting like a 3.5 times, life extension in the super O flies.